Welcome to this video tutorial on how to use the shoreline change model GenCade version 1. In this tutorial I'm going to give you a brief tour of the GenCade graphical interface and show you how to use the conceptual model to produce your GenCade project. One of the benefits of GenCade is that it is integrated within the Surface Water Modeling System, or SMS. The SMS is the graphical interface in which GenCade is run, but it also serves as a data processing software. It contains tools that allow the user to visualize, process, manipulate, and export many types of input and output data. It functions in global coordinate system and provides seamless integration with other Armico models. For those who are not already familiar with the SMS interface, let me give you a brief tour of the basic features of SMS 11.1. On the right side, you have the workspace or graphic window, where the data can be displayed and modified. You can directly drag and drop SMS-compatible files and other type of data sets such as georeference imagery and Esri shapefiles. On the left side, you have the Project Explorer or the data tree, where the various layers or coverages already imported into the SMS can be turned on or off. The data is organized according to its type, which could be, for example, a GenCade grid or an imagery. A number of options are available by right-clicking on the coverage. At the bottom, you have the various modules that function within the SMS. Each module applies to a specific type of data. You can hover over the icon to see the description. Changing module will activate the dynamic tools specific to that data type, as well as the menus. This way you are presented with the commands that only applies to the type of data you're working with. The GenCade grid will be placed into the 1D grid module. This will activate these tools and also the GenCade menu. However, the data that constitute the GenCade project, such as the shorelines and the structures, will be created with the map module. Now, let's look at this typical GenCade project. You see a number of datasets placed under the Map Data folder. These are the GenCade coverages. This coverage contained the initial shoreline data, and the second one, the regional contour. This coverage contained both shorelines as well as the arcs or line representing the inlets, structures, and beach fill. The wave gauge and grid refine points are also entered in this coverage. All this data is georeferenced based on a predetermined global coordinate system. In this case, we are in the state plane coordinate system. The real-world representation of the GenCade project is called the conceptual model. The conceptual model is everything included in the GenCade map coverage. You see that the GenCade coverage is part of the map module. Once a grid frame is defined, here in purple, the 1D GenCade grid can be generated. All the data entered into the conceptual model will be converted to a 1D grid system called the GenCade model. The GenCade model is present here under the GenCade data folder and operates within the 1D grid module. For example, let's look at this inlet. In the conceptual model, the inlet is placed at its correct geographical position. Once the conversion to 1D grid is made, the inlet position is projected onto the grid. Its position is now defined by the cell numbers. The position of the structures, such as groin and jetties, is also defined by the cell number, but also by the distance from the grid to the tip of the structure. To make modification to the project, you can go back to the conceptual model, adjust the location, and regenerate the 1D GenCade grid. From the GenCade model, SMS will generate the GenCade control file, or Gen file. The Gen file lists all the information required for the execution of the GenCade simulation. You can learn more on how to import the data into the coverage, add features, and create a GenCade grid by viewing the other tutorials available into this Getting Started series. You can also find more information and link to publications on the SERP website and the GenCade wiki page. Thank you for watching this video tutorial.